Hey folks, this is Texas Paul. I want to talk to my Christians right now. I know, I'm pretty harsh on the political stuff involving the Christian faith. I am, but right now I want to set that aside, and I want to give you a warning of something that's going on that you really need to know about. Your churches have made a deal with the devil, and it is a very, very bad thing for our country. There's no other way to put it. And right now, it's not me, the Democrat, that's your problem. You are under psychological attack. There's psychological warfare going on right now, and you are the victim of it. A long time ago, longer than most people can remember, the churches jumped into bed with the Republican Party. You had guys back in the 80s like Ralph Reed and Brent Bozell and all these different people that were just entangling churches with the Republican Party as hard as they could. And since that's happened, you've seen a rapid decline in the number of people attending church. And it's coming to a crisis moment. I want to tell you about Project Blitz. That is a psychological warfare program aimed at you, a Christian. What it is, I'll just give you the Cliff's Notes version of it. I'd like you to look it up yourself so that you don't have to take my word as a Democrat. I don't want you to take anything I tell you directly. I want you to verify what I say. But I want you to look up Project Blitz. It was created by a former politician that and several political church groups. When I say political church groups, I mean lawyers. I mean politicians. I don't mean good old-fashioned Jesus. I mean good old-fashioned GOP church politics church groups. And they created this program specifically aimed at you. See, the GOP has a problem right now. Like here in Texas, they failed miserably. We're number one in uninsured in the state. We're number one in children being uninsured in the state. Our schools are near the bottom of the list. Prenatal care is at the bottom of the list. I mean, just one thing after another. Infrastructure is just dilapidated here in Texas. They've done a miserable job because governing is hard. Believe it or not, governing is difficult. You need skilled people to do it. It's administrative work. It's a job. And Republicans don't want to do it. They don't. They like to play culture wars and sit in a job where they don't have to do anything and rake in donations from people that are more than happy to be the beneficiaries of Republicans not doing anything for the people. And what they've done instead of actually doing the job is things like Project Blitz. And this is what they're using this midterm. What they've done is create a whole slew of laws that are considered bait, basically. An example would be the In God We Trust law here in the state of Texas. And what the In God We Trust law is, it's a law that says any school district must accept a poster that's donated to them and display it prominently if it says, "In God We Trust," has the American flag and the Texas flag emblazoned on it. And there's no limit as to how many they can be given that they have to comply with this. So the idea behind this law is to create objection to it. It's not to get the posters in the schools, because they ran into a problem here in Texas. The schools just did it. And nobody really complained. You know, we Democrats, we don't want to have petty fights with you people. We don't. Hell, we're Christians ourselves in many cases. You know, so this was just no big deal. So they've been bombarding these schools, and now we have a school district that's refused to accept one of these posters. And that was the goal of this law, as written in Project Blitz. It was to get someone to push back. And when that person pushes back, they want to get a microphone in their face. They want to create as much of a dust-up as possible. And they want to get Democrats specifically on record opposing this law and other laws like it. There will be different laws in your state. And when they do that, then they will run that back to the pastors in your churches who have made this deal with the devil. And your pastors will sermonize that we Democrats are attacking you. And that's the goal. To create an us versus you mentality within the Christian community. That is the goal. Because once that is in place, they can ratchet up the laws to be more intrusive and more intrusive, because their stated goal is a Christian nationalist government, a government run by the churches. And I don't think any of you really want that, because you don't control which churches end up in charge. I think you'd rather just go to church and take care of your family and live your Christian life. Folks, they're using this, and it's pure psychological warfare. Make you the victim. And the pastors are more than willing to do it because of the money they get out of it. I'm sorry, folks, but this is the ruin of Christianity. Because the vast majority of people in this country are not willing to live under a theocracy. And it's just out of pure laziness and this awful repugnant thing that the Republican Party has become. They are so incompetent in the way they govern. And everything they want to talk about and do is some fight between you and me. It's to rile people up and not just make sure the buses run on time. You know, that's where we Democrats are. That's where we are. And we're not worshiping anybody we elect. We're hiring them for a job. And we expect them to do the job. Are we perfect? No. Do we get it right all the time? No. But that's the goal. Do the job. Govern for the people. Healthcare for the people. The actual where the rubber meets the road of Christianity without the churches being involved. Being our brother's keeper without some pastor getting paid for it. And Republicans hate that idea. Good Lord. Us looking at infrastructure and working on infrastructure, they hate that. They don't want us working together. They want us fighting. And that's what Project Blitz is designed to do, specifically, is to create that opportunity for them to take to you to say, Democrats are attacking you, Christian. They're attacking your faith. They want to impose Sharia law or some crazy nonsense like that, rather than just making the damn buses run on time. So I'm asking you folks, verify everything I've told you. Verify it all. And help me. If you want to put an end to this kind of thing, vote Democrat and empty the pews. I'm not saying giving up on your belief. I'm saying punish your church for making these deals, for getting involved in the devil's work, because that's what it is the devil's work. It is turning your fellow man against each other, and that's what the devil wants. Punish your churches for that. Spend a few Sundays at home ministering to your own families. Make the churches miss you. And when they ask why you're not there, tell them to get out of politics and keep to ministering to their flock. I love you folks. This is Old Texas Paul out. Check everything I've said, and I hope you have a good day.